Foreign investors, Nigerians and Africans living in other countries, there's an opportunity for you to come back home and invest in your continent, Africa, and in your country, Nigeria. Hi, my name is Soldiers, and like always, I'm here to tell you about moving across borders. For this particular video, I'll be talking about coming to Nigeria to invest. Now, there are two types of investments. You can decide to set up a company. If you're a foreign investor, you're not a Nigerian, or you're from any other country in Africa and want to invest in Nigeria, you can decide to set up a company in Nigeria or decide to do a foreign portfolio investment, which is buying shares in another company, a Nigerian company, and having some interest in that company. But today we're talking about the FDI, which is a foreign direct investment, which is coming to Nigeria to set up a company as a foreign investor. Now, to do this, you must register a company with the Corporate Affairs Commission. And right now, it is quite easy to do that. Most of the pre-incorporation is done online. So you can decide to reach out to someone to help you do that, or reach out to a lawyer or an accountant or a licensed agent with the CAC to do that for you. All you need to do is to ensure that you meet the 100 million naira share capital requirement for a foreign company, and then you need to have who are going to be your directors, their details, home addresses, IDs, signature. You have your shareholders, and you ensure that all shares are distributed. Yes, and then of course your proposed address for setup in Nigeria. Now, after doing this, you get a certificate and all that from the CAC. You need to go a step further. Because you're a foreign company, you need to register with the NIPC, which is the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission. And the importance of registering with this, aside the fact that it is mandatory requirement for any foreign company setting up in Nigeria, is that it gives you some kind of privileges like tax holidays, certain incentive, depending on the industry you're setting up. Also prevents the federal government of Nigeria coming to unilaterally or arbitrarily taking control of your company. So the NIPC, registering with the NIPC gives you that privilege, gives you that opportunity to be protected as a foreign investor setting up in Nigeria. Now, when you do that, you set up, you would have access to a number of privileges like I mentioned before. In my next video, I'm going to be talking strictly about those incentives that you get as a foreign investor. Now, if you are someone that wants to bring in expatriates from outside the country to Nigeria to work, you need to register and get what we call the expatriate quota, right? And that is done at the immigration office in Nigeria. However, the NIPC has what we call the one-stop shop. This one-stop shop brings all these other agencies registration under one platform, so that you don't need to start moving to different offices to do your registration as a foreign investor setting up in Nigeria. The next thing you need to do is to ensure, of course, to have you've registered with the Federal Inland Revenue Service, which is a tax body, regulatory body in Nigeria, to ensure that there are remittances that are going to the federal government from your income taxes and all that. But like I said before, registering with the NIPC will give you an idea of the sort of incentives and tax holidays you have from these taxes, right? Now, when you have done this, you also need to go and do sector registration. So if you're registering, for example, you're setting up businesses in the oil and gas industry, there are specific licenses you need to get in the oil and gas industry. For example, if it's the midstream, the upstream, or the downstream that you want to set up and do business in, you need to get the relevant regulations. But in my next video, I'm going to take time to talk about most of the available incentives for a foreign investor in Nigeria setting up his their FDI, foreign direct investment, in Nigeria. So stay tuned, subscribe if you have not, and like and follow for more.